Hello and welcome back to Invincible Asia. I'm George Clark and this is another one of my favourite fights. For today I'm going to watch with you the incredible end battle from the fantastic Skinny Tiger Fatty Dragon. Okay, now let's go, because this is quite a lengthy fight. It runs for just over 7 minutes and it is absolutely fantastic. The whole movie is fantastic. I just love it. Made in 1990, also known as Nutty Kickbox Cops, which is quite a bizarre title for it, but the fights are incredible. That wee wire assisted move, there's not too much of the wire assisting going on, but to get a big guy like Sammo to defy gravity, you kind of need it. Still, it was a beautiful kick regardless, but the whole fight scene is incredible. And the fact that Maka thought taking on Lau Kar Wing, because he was a bit of an older man, whereas they're probably around the same age actually, he thought he would get an easier run of it while Sammo takes on everyone else. That is clearly not the case, but Maka is fantastic and he is a very, very funny man. And as athletic as he is throughout this, I do think for his more acrobatic moves and stunt work, oh my god, that he is doubled by Hung Yan Yan. And Hung Yan Yan is one of the fight choreographers, along with Ridley Tsui, who Sammo just kicked in the face there before he jumped over to help Maka. But I'll point him out later on this. So Lau Kar Wing, underrated brother to Lau Kar Lung, who the Shaw Brothers legend. I feel that Lau Kar Wing is just as talented, if not as much as his brother was, and he's directed some incredible pieces, this being one of them. He is the man behind this whole feature, and I do feel that it is one of his finest. This is brilliant. I love how Maka came down them stairs and it looked like he had brought this this army with him. In fact, it was Lau Kar Wing's men. But it's a brilliant movie. Not perfect, but very, very funny. Very well made. And this fight scene, I mean, it is incredible. Ridley Tsui and Hung Yan Yan. And I would say that Sammo and Lau Kar Wing definitely got their 10 cents worth put in there in terms of the choreography. But it is just friggin' powerful. And there was quite a few movies around this period that Sammo worked with both of these guys, but Ridley Tsui as well, on Pantyhose Hero, which deserves a Blu-ray release. And it is just, the fights in it are just as epic. And the fact that he is spoofing Bruce Lee throughout this just adds a wee bit more, because we hadn't really seen much of that from Enter the Fat Dragon, which was 1977, 78, maybe around then. But yes, I feel that this is definitely a highlight of his career, as Karl Maka's. I mean, Karl's done a lot of great work and a lot of action movies, but I feel that this is definitely one of his highlights. I love the camera work on that. Gary Ho was the cinematographer for this, and Gary Ho also shot the likes of The Protector for Jackie Chan and Sammo Hung's Seven Warriors. This is Ridley Tsui here, one of the choreographers. I love Ridley Tsui. He's given us some of the greatest action pieces of Hong Kong cinema, and is a oh Jesus Christ, he's just an incredible martial artist and stuntman in his own right. And he's never made it as an A-lister, but I do feel he's quite a cute guy, but his moves are incredible and he never disappoints. You should definitely watch Pantyhose Hero and check him out. So here we're getting the likes of Mark Houghton. I don't know who the other Western guy is, but Mark Houghton, he mentioned in an interview, actually I did a Deep Impact episode where he talked about this being one of the highlights of his career, and rightly so. It's a great fight. I think it's the one spoofing Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris, if I'm correct, whenever Sammo and him go toe-to-toe here. But there's some powerful moves here. Look, I mean, Sammo doesn't hold back. When you're fighting Sammo Hung, you're getting hit. But Mark is a fantastic martial artist, as we all know. One of the best Gualo actors of Hong Kong cinema. And he's still going strong today. Obviously worked under Lau Kar Lung, Lau Kar Wing's brother. And he is incredible. He's just nuts. But Lau Kar Wing is so friggin' cool. And of course, he directed Mark Houghton just prior to this in City Cops with Cynthia Rothrock, which I love, a very underrated Cynthia Rothrock movie. But Mark Houghton gets a great showdown with Cindy in it. And I often thought about this like being if Sammo had starred with Cynthia in this, as much as I love Karl Maka, what a different Skinny Tiger Fatty Dragon we would have had then. But this is a tremendous, tremendous fight scene. I see all them big tools behind Sammo, and I always wondered when I first watched this, via a bootleg video. Was he going to pull them out off the wall there and use them as weapons? But this is a great battle between them. As I say, Mark thought it was a highlight of his career, which it most definitely is, of course. And Mark has fought the finest of Hong Kong cinema. There's no doubt about that. But this is a tremendous wee battle. And of course, Sammo, as a Bruceploitation actor, I suppose, he's always been considered to be one of the best, and I do think he pulls off everything. Like, I love this kick, sorry. Boom, freaking amazing. But yes, so Lau Kar Wing and Sammo Hung, they've starred together for many things over the years, from Dirty Tiger, Crazy Frog, which some people thought that this was a sequel to, but it's really not. Right through to Millionaire's Express and so much more. But he did direct Sammo in The Odd Couple, which is like one of the greatest weapons movies ever made in Hong Kong cinema. But they're naturally together, whether they're heroes together or they're against each other, they are naturally fantastic. And again, the camera work here with this fight scene is incredible. But with Sammo, now we're seeing that is Sammo doing that backflip, but I do feel for some of the more acrobatic stuff that we don't see his face, he could be doubled by his brother. I forget his brother's name straight off there, but he tends to double Sammo, and he's a wee bit slimmer, so you can kind of notice it, but he does tend to double him here and there throughout his movies, which Ghost Punting, very noticeable in the end battle there. But yeah, this is a tremendous showdown between these two legends of Hong Kong cinema, and you can see that they've kind of brushed Karl Maka to the side now to allow for these two true martial artists to show off their skills. And they really do. I mean, these are short blades. You make one wrong move for that and catch the fingers around the handle, and that's it. They're gone. Look at that move. It's incredible. And again, it could be Ridley Choi in a fat sit. Again, he is well known for his stunt work and his doubling for other actors. But the likes of Lau Kar Wing, I would say, for the most part, bar this, when you look closely, jumping through and he gets hooked, what do you see when he's hanging there? I feel that this is perhaps a stunt double, and he actually does turn away from the camera. We don't get to see his face while he's hanging there, and that could well have been because Lau Kar Wing didn't want to have his neck ripped off, which is understandable. But Karl Maka, again, getting the last laugh of this fight scene. Very funny, very good movie all round. Wilson Yip, director of Ip Man, Flashpoint and things like that. He is the assistant director on this. But yeah, I mean, for me, it is an absolute gem of a movie. Ironically, it does fall under the Cinema City Golden Princess banner, which is really weird, because when they were making it, I do believe they were calling it Tiger on the Beat 3, to deter any competition studios from making a Tiger on the Beat 3. And then when it was completed, they did release it as Skinny Tiger, Fatty Dragon. But the fact that it is under the Cinema City Golden Princess banner and has been put out there on Blu-ray by Eureka Video is quite weird, considering that whole deal with Shout Factory in taking all of their titles just to get the ones they really wanted. But this one managed to get out there, as did Undeclared War with Vinegar Syndrome. Anyway, that's been another favourite fight of mine, and it is an absolute classic. In fact, I'm going to go back and watch it again here. But yes, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all your continued support. Until next time, enjoy your Kung Fu, and I will see you soon.